What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Ask the Elephant for February 2025. Let's talk, shall we? Let's go ahead and just get started. We'll start with the Patreon questions. Let's go ahead and jump into Slack. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Me? It's fine. It's too damn cold. I'm ready for spring. Look, I understand the rodent saw a shadow or didn't or whatever 6 extra months. So I'm over it. Dude, I'm tired of the sheets of ice that are outside and have been for a while. I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel pretty strongly about that. All right, Jesus, off and running here. Are we gonna see more often GMT games? No. I'd love to see Congress of Vienna, Wolfpack, or the new editions of Fields of Fire from the last releases. I would love to have a partnership and some sort of relationship with GMT, but as it is, ever since Tony and company have left and have moved on to the next generation, I've tried, I've reached out, I've attempted multiple times, and they've chosen to go in other directions. So I would love for that to happen, but as of right now, GMT is not any different than any other publishers as far as I'm concerned. Like, they come on when they come on. I mean, we did, what was it we did the other day? I should totally remember this, and I don't. Anyway, Border Reavers. We did that. I thought that was a blast, and I think we did pretty well with it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. It sounded like y'all did. But yeah. So, how was my New York experience overall? It started out hella disappointing and finished pretty great. So what? And that's from Zach. Zach asked this one. For those that don't know, here we'll go off the rails a little bit to start. I'm fine with that, as I want to do over the next 2-3 hours. Let's see. So there was a thing on TikTok, I guess that would technically be a video, about a kosher sushi, easy for me to say, a kosher sushi joint in Flatbush in Brooklyn. But what made it unique isn't that it's kosher, which I actually did a little research to find out what makes a sushi joint kosher versus not, but I digress. They do tuna carvings. They used to do them every couple of Mondays, and they literally fly in a 250 pound tuna from Mexico, caught like the day before or 2 days before, and they break it down. It's a bit of a show. So I saw this thanks to Jess. She sent it to me because I'm not on TikTok, and I was like, okay, that looks like an amazing experience. Oh, and then it's all you can eat omakase and sake. And I was like, I've been killing it at the poker table. Yesterday remedied that, by the way. But anyway, I digress. And I was like, yeah, all right. So I called him, got no answer. 2 minutes later, I got a call back saying, hey, you just called. I was like, yeah, hey, how far out are the reservations? Because I've heard it sometimes takes months. And they were like, well, you're in luck. About 30 minutes ago, we decided to have one on President's Day, which is this past Monday. And I was like, reservations for 2, please. So, okay, that was a happy coincidence. So then we drove through from here to New York City. For those that don't know, you got to drive through what is quickly becoming my least favorite state, most hated state, however you want to frame that, Connecticut, in the entire country. I stand by this. Worst drivers in the U.S., and I've been in all 50 states, and I've driven in the continental 48. Connecticut, worst drivers in the country. Horrid drivers. Anyway, made it through there. And our plan was to go see the Treasures exhibit at the New York Public Library. Super stoked. We've seen it once. If you've never been, it's free. When you're in Manhattan, go. It is, I promise you, it is amazing. So go. So, but they rotate what's on display. And we went Monday, parked, had to park in a parking garage, paid $32 until 5 o'clock. Okay. Deal with that. Go, walk to the library, start walking up the stairs, and notice there's these barricades. And I was like, oh, maybe they're renovating. Oh, damn it. It's a holiday. They're closed. Son of a. So there went that idea. Okay. So that wasn't great. And it's freezing cold. And that wind is whipping on Monday. And Jess has the idea of, hey, why don't we walk up to Belvedere Castle? About a third of the way into Central Park. It's like 2 miles, which I got a bad back, but okay. And I didn't have a hoodie on. I didn't have a hat. Like these things are huge. They catch a lot of wind, and it was cold. But we walked from roughly 44th up to Belvedere Castle. It was a beautiful walk. Got to see Balto, the statue of Balto, which recently the 100-year anniversary of the saving of the gnome children. That was pretty cool. But yeah, the Belvedere Castle, unspectacular. And then we took a cab back. Went to FAO Schwartz, which I thought was going to be a really over the top, obnoxious, super expensive toy store. And it had some of that, but it wasn't pretentious. And they gave like ridiculous military discounts, so that was cool. And then after that, can't go to New York City without grabbing a slice of pie. So I grabbed a $1.50 slice of pie. Okay, I grabbed 2 because I was starving, hadn't eaten. And then we drove, technically we did not sleep till Brooklyn. Drove to Flatbush, found Koma Sushi, waited, people watched, waited, went to a little Parisian bakery / coffee house to mostly use the restroom, but got a little I got some hot tea, just got a matcha, and the best baklava. Oh, it was amazing. Anyway, 6:45 rolls around, we roll into Coma, and we get seated. It was awesome. I thought about bringing some of the pictures up, but yeah, I can do that. All right, give me a second. Anyway, so the show starts promptly at 7:00. They unbox the fish, carry it onto the sushi counter, and there's 4 sushi chefs, which were Japanese chefs. And then from there, they proceeded to break down the tuna. And it was amazing to watch the skill and artistry of that. Really, I appreciate excellence in pretty much anything that people do. And I was very much in awe of it. And so, yeah, I'll share a couple of the pictures. I'm not going to share all. We went through every course. So after they break, but when we sat down, we got some delicious miso soup. That was tasty. And then some water. And then about 25 minutes or so after the sushi, or after the tuna started getting broken down, so one of the chefs breaks down the entire tuna and explains, the collar and the belly and the different cuts and everything. So that was awesome. The other 3, after he breaks down the loins and everything, he hands them off to them, and then they start breaking it down, and all of them collectively start making sushi, or the omakase. So different sashimi and just different courses. And it was a unlimited, and I think there were 23 or 24 different courses of sushi, sashimi, and all that. Oh, and I didn't mention it's all you can drink sake as well as all you can eat sushi. But you don't order the sushi. It just comes around. Sorry, I'm trying to post these up to Slack, and then I can drag them over. There we go. A moment. This is terrible, I understand, but just give me a minute. Nope, wrong one. Wrong Slack. There we go. There. Okay. I'll share 2 or 3 of them. And then from there, so they just bring out a tray. They put a piece of sushi down on your plate. They explain to you what it is, what part of the tuna, and whatever else it might come with, any accoutrement, if you will. And they bring little pitchers of sake with a little area that you can put ice in to keep it cold. That was cool, but it doesn't get watered down. And then from there, it's just constant. So I tapped out after 28 courses. Jess was ate more than anybody. It was really impressive, honestly. 32, including the two that I did not eat. I had a bite of, and I was like, nope, that's a big no for me. And yeah, so 32 for her and 28 for me. Where is it? This is way harder than it should be. I apologize. All right. So that's 2. There's one more that I very much wanted to. There you go. There it is. So yeah. Now I only had 2 little cups of sake over the course of all that because I had to drive home after that, and I did, and just slept. So that was, yeah. Yes, 4 in a row. Yes, Adam. I get the reference. That's awesome. So let me, yeah, I'll give a couple of examples. Look, it's my plate, so it's, take it for what it's worth. Like, there's a little bit of remnants of soy on there, which very little, but I tried not to mess with how the chef served it too much. Once I bring these up, I can bring from Slack, I can bring them over. So let me give a couple of, oh yeah, and then that one. All right. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. It is, I believe, $125 per person. Again, the show, all you can eat omakase and all you can drink sake. I did not drink that much because I had to drive, and I knew that was going to be already a struggle. It's about a 3.5 hour drive. And it was totally worth it. I think I'm still full from it. Totally worth it. Tips included, the whole 9 yards. So it came out to arguably one of the most expensive meals I've ever had in my life, but thank you, Poker. And because Poker paid for that. There we go. I have sent them all to myself. And I think with the gratuity that's included in the whole 9 yards, it came out to about $315 for the experience. So now with that said, the way it's set up, I think there's 8 or 10 seats at the bar, and then the rest are 2 tops everywhere out in the restaurant, and there's not a lot. I think there were probably 30 people total, and that is the dinner seating. From 7 o'clock until they close at 10 o'clock, you make reservations for this thing, and that's all the people that are there, which I appreciate that it's a single seating. It's not a big deal. Like, we all go to restaurants, whatever, and people come and people go. But I love that it was just, we're having the food, and it is the service. It's a thing that I don't experience really ever. I've never have, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, for the price and for the experience, I thought that was pretty amazing. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not going to be a regular occurrence, don't get me wrong, but as a once in a blue moon or even a once in a lifetime experience, totally worth it. Although, full disclosure, probably not going to be a once in a lifetime, but totally worth it. The service was great. Everybody was friendly. Everybody that was sitting around us was friendly. And yeah, that was a pretty cool time. So that was, and then I drove 3.5 hours home. So we left at 10, got back just around 1:30 or so. Had to stop for gas once on the way up. I got to be honest though, from about 2.5 hours left until about 50 minutes left. That stretch, that was a difficult drive. That was a hard drive. Just for the simple fact that full belly and tired and had walked 3 miles, which, look, I'm fat and old. So 3 miles is a lot. Plus I driven down 3.5 hours. Then I had to drive an hour over to Brooklyn, to Flatbush where it was, from Manhattan. So it was a long day. So I was tired. And we got up at 6 a.m. to start the day, but it was awesome. it was pretty great experience. So yeah, that was the sushi New York / whatever experience. So here we go. I will bring these up one at a time. I don't know how they'll. Oh, there we go. That actually shows pretty well. So we'll bring it over here. So here, that is the 4 sushi chefs. That breakdown. That is our tuna. I named him Fred. I don't think he had a name. So yeah. Anyway, so that is we were told a 230-pound sushi or tuna from Mexico. Then next picture is from the view we had from the side, although I obviously moved over to take that picture so you all could see that. So there you go. And this is from the side, which I appreciated because of the fact that you could like, he's cutting it away from the people at the bar, and you can see a couple of the people on the left-hand side there on the bar. And so where we were, we got a kind of behind the scenes so we could actually see them breaking it down and everything. So that was pretty cool. The next picture I got for y'all is the tuna half broken down now. Let's move that over there. There we go. So that is them flipping the tuna. So the chef there in the middle, he is the one that actually broke down the tuna. And then the other one is one of his assistants. So that is half the tuna broken down. They're flipping it over so he can now work on the second half. So that was pretty cool. I went over, got a good picture of that. And now we honor the animal by enjoying its flesh. So, okay. So what do we have here? We have a little tiny little sake glass there to the right. And then the sake bottle, you can kind of see it's white and blue or clear and blue in the top right. But anyway, that is the first course. That was akashi with jalapeno and a tiny little bit of jalapeno. So that was the first course. Then, like, I want to say this was like the 6th course, was 2 different types of tuna here. And you can see the different colors, the lighter and the darker, with a little bit of tomato and cucumber, so and jalapeno in there. So they made a bit of a kind of a salad with this. So there was that. But the star was the Toro. So this is 2 different versions. They started coming too quick and couldn't keep up. So obviously it is just gently torched. Interesting note, for this to be kosher, a non-Jewish person is not allowed to cook or flame the food. So he has to bring the torch, the sushi chef, to the, his name's Bensi, the host, but I don't know if he's the owner or just the host, but was Jewish, had a yarmulke on. He actually came over, hit the button to turn the torch on, and then the sushi chef could come in and torch the tuna. But this is 2 different Toros, 2 different cuts of Toro. The one on the left is scallion, the one on the right is jalapeno. Wasn't spicy. I was a little disappointed in that, but oh my God, this was ridiculously good. Oh, so good. But yeah, so that was the New York trip. There we go. All right. Anyway, all right. So that was the New York trip. All right, let's go back to, there was, I think, one more question. That's all, because most of them were going to be here. Oh, in honor of Friday's stream, because we're doing oranges and lemons tomorrow for the patrons. Orange juice or lemonade? Orange juice, not even close. Lemonade, eh. If I never had lemonade again in my life, I'd be okay. Orange juice, on the other hand, I love me some orange juice. So, there we go. Yeah. So anyway, that was it. Okay, what do we got? Let's look at the questions. That should have given you all some time now. All right, Stryburn. Have you implemented AI in some way in your work with heavy cardboard and or your everyday life? Nope, haven't touched it. Some friends have used it to help with things that they're doing for heavy cardboard, but I have not. No. Chip, poker update. Was great until yesterday. Health, are you fully recovered? I am now, I think. And what have been some of the best surprises in gaming recently? I mean, the gang still sticks out. That's going to be probably the most pleasant surprise I've had in board games, maybe ever. So the gang is that good. By the way, those of you on Twitch, I see you. So like F2P engineer, I see you over there. I'm just going to get through these in chronological order, so don't think I'm not seeing you. All right. Let's see. That's the one that the fact that I enjoyed Trois, that was cool. That was a pleasant experience. I enjoyed that. I played Lorenzo Il Magnifico and I didn't hate it. I still have strong feelings about why that game exists, but it was fine. I didn't hate it, so that was a pleasant experience. So there you go. On a serious note, poker update. I've been crushing it this month until yesterday. Nobody wants to hear bad beat stories. The reason yesterday didn't go well is I lost 4 buy-ins. I lost 3 of them with an open-ended straight flush draw. I got it all in with the guy who got it in with top pair. That was it. Like, he didn't have a set or anything, and I just had an open-ended straight flush and bricked out. And then I got it in with a top set of aces against a guy who my set of aces gave him a straight, and I bricked out my full house draw. So that was it. Like, totally standard, and I was a 58% favorite when the money went in on the straight flush draw. And obviously I was behind, but I'm never folding top set of aces on a ace jack 10 4 board in a 3-bet pot. That's just never happening. So, okay, it sucked, but it happens. Up until then, it's been going great. I got invited to a home game by a poker vlogger. So there are 4 poker vlogs that I know of up here now that Corey Eyring has moved out west and Rampage has moved out west. Those were 2. There are 4 others that I know of, 3 of which I enjoy, just being honest. So it's K Boulay. That's whose home game I go to. I was supposed to go to it last night, but alas, did not happen. So that was a bummer, but he hosts one. It's like an hour and a half south of here, so that's a bummer. But if you enjoy poker vlogs, K Boulet's local, JQ Poker's local, and Dookie Bets is local. I've played with JQ. I've played with Kyle K Boulet. I haven't played a hand really with Kyle. I got the better of JQ a little bit on one, and then I haven't run into Dookie yet. So, but those are the 3 that are local. Anyway, but that's it. That's the poker update, I guess. Let's see. What do you look forward to most with the Patron Drive? Do you have any milestones, numbers, goals set for the outcome of it? No, I don't think so. I mean, I would love to make it to where, now that you mention it, yeah, I don't really have any set goal of how many patrons or anything along the lines of that. Maybe I should, I guess, but I don't. The thing I'm looking forward to most, I think, is challenging myself to do this. So, on February 25th, we are starting a Patron Drive. What is a Patron Drive? It's basically a ton of content to try and drive the Patreon and acquire more patrons of Heavy Cardboard. There are currently 701 paid patrons of Heavy Cardboard, of which I'm grateful. They basically pay my salary for the most part. So it'd be awesome to get that to say 800. Now, there are 975 total, which means there are 224 that are free, which I don't quite really understand what that gets them. So yeah, but anyway, there are 701 patrons of Heavy Cardboard currently that support the show from $2 on up. The benefits begin at the $5 and up level for everybody. At the $5 and higher level, it starts there and then goes up. But you get access to the Slack channel, and arguably more importantly, you get access to the patron-only streams. What are the patron-only streams? They are a number of different things. They are pre-plays, which are less formal, and they are rough. It's just us learning a game or us getting ready to be able to stream a game publicly. We're a lot more free with our language. And it's less, I don't think these streams are too constricted as is. Do y'all? We tend to have a pretty good time on the show, as y'all know, but it's a little bit more rigid, like I do a formal teach and stuff like that on the public streams. On the other ones, I don't. And it's us fumbling our way through sometimes, or maybe some of us know the game, but not everybody does. And so we're teaching them to get them up to speed so that when we stream it publicly, it presents well, whether it's sponsored or not. We just want to put out a good product. And I have a certain level that I expect to hold a standard for Heavy Cardboard. So that the patron-only streams are that. In addition to that, well, not every time, because I don't want to commit to this every time, but for the majority of sponsored streams, we don't do a roundtable discussion on the same video as we do the playthrough, because it's sponsored, i.e. they have paid us to teach the game and to do a playthrough. They have not paid us for our opinions of the game. So we don't have to put that behind a paywall, but my thinking on this is I don't want to have the appearance of our opinions are bought and paid for. Look, you're going to know when we stream a game whether or not so-and-so likes the game. Does Edward like the game? Does Derek? Does Ken? Does Paul? Whoever. You can get that feel from the playthrough. But again, our job is to teach the game and then play it. The roundtable discussion is basically just, I mean, you've seen them in our non-sponsored streams. It's that. And they're honest, they're off the cuff, they are our initial, okay, we just finished this game experience. It's our thoughts on that. And even though I have zero qualms pointing out, I don't know if you want to call them flaws, but things that I wasn't super keen on, I have zero issue doing that, whether it's sponsored or not. However, since it's sponsored, the appearance, right? So I just chose to remove that appearance altogether. And so we do a separate video for the patrons. Although, I'll be honest, I don't know how useful that is for people. Because, honestly, make your own decision. You watch the teach, you watch the playthrough, you know how it plays. Is this a good fit for you and your game group? My opinion of the game shouldn't matter that much, really. Nor should Ken's or John's or Martin's or whomever, right? But y'all seem to enjoy that. The patrons do. So you get access to those as well. And then there's going to be other benefits available. Now, the Patreon is going to start, or going to change, I apologize, before the Patron Drive fires up in 5 days. But what does that mean publicly? It means we're going to do it. We're calling it 30 and 30. It's not. It's 29 and 29. But that just doesn't flow off the tongue as well. So 29 streams in 29 days. And the reason not 30 and 30 is because I have to leave for Circle DC on the 26th, I think it is, of March. So that's why. So there you go. So Patron Drive is to try and motivate y'all that aren't patrons out there to consider supporting the show. That's it. So what does your money go towards? It goes to keeping the show. Honestly, it's that simple. You literally pay my salary, but also paid for all of this. So we have a bunch of microphones. We have a ton of lights. We have new lights that are currently sitting right here on the table that I'm going to install. Even though I got a new light up there, I'm not super thrilled with it. So that one's going to go back, and this one's going to replace it, hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. Upgrading the cameras. The goal, what I would like to do, is upgrade that camera next, and that camera, which is the camera for the people on the other side, as well as replacing the other main camera, which is a PTZ camera. That way we would have access to two PTZ cameras instead of one just being the top down. So I would like to be able to upgrade those. But those cameras, they're used. I can get them for about $700 a piece. And then the lens. The lenses are about $400 to $500 a piece. So basically, I would like to replace those two cameras and add a new one, if you will. So that's going to be 3 new $1,200 cameras. I don't make enough to be able to just pay that out. So I need patrons to support to be able to do that. So that's what your money goes towards. It doesn't go to sushi. Poker goes towards sushi. And that's honestly, that's my second gig. That's my side hustle. That's my second job to make ends meet. So I would appreciate the support. If you find value in what it is we do, I certainly would appreciate it. Now, we're going to have a ton of giveaways. I'm going to be giving away a lot of games. There's going to be stuff like that. But I don't want the Patron Drive to be about what you get. And this is why I feel strongly against running a Kickstarter. I don't want to be a promo store. I don't want this to be about you guys. What do you get? You get the show, and the show continues. You don't have to support the show, but I'm hoping that you do. But that I hope that comes across the way I'm meaning for. Not like you're not worth it or I don't value you. Any of the patrons out there, I hope no. I hope I'm showing that. It's a support the show because you want to support the show, because you find value in what we do, and we help you make good informed decisions for your gaming hobby. That's why I want you to support the show. Or you find what we do here useful or funny or entertaining or some mix of that, and you just feel like, hey, $5 a month is a fair value for what it is you give. We give you, you give that. Or more. I don't want to limit you to $5. So yeah, that's it. So we're going to do some giveaways, but that's not going to be the driving factor. Driving factor is we're just going to pound out some content. It's not all going to be it's not all going to be playthroughs. That's what I should say. I know there's going to be a couple of top 50s in there. There's going to be top 10 lists. There's going to be just like us sitting around the table drinking some nights. There's going to be a lot of playthroughs. There are going to be older games like Hinkle and Stein and I don't know, probably Vanuatu, stuff like that. I don't want to give too much away. And then there's going to be newer games like Molly House and such. There's going to be 18XX. There's going to be Age of Steam. There's going to be Power Grid. There's going to be Cube Rails. There may or may not be a coin game. So, yeah. That, in a really big nutshell, because I talked way longer on that than I expected to, that's going to be the Patron Drive starting up on Tuesday in 5 days. So there you go. All right. By the way, Chip was not paid or prompted for that question, but I appreciate it. All right, let's see. What do I look forward to? Sorry, that was Stryborn. Apologies. Thank you, Stryborn. Any car trip planned coming spring? No, but there is one this summer. And this is going to be just real quick. When the kids are with their biological father during summer vacation, tentatively, we have planned a trip. So 2 years ago, we did a car trip from here and did a massive circle around the country on the outside all the way to California, Texas, California, up the coast, over, across, up north. This year, it's going to be through the middle to hit national parks, stuff like Yellowstone, Arches, stuff like that. We throw a mattress in the back of the Suburban, and we sleep in the truck, take showers at truck stops, and it's an amazing 2-week trip. You pay for gas and food, and that's it. It's awesome. Trip of a lifetime. Cannot recommend it enough. Anyway, so that's the plan. Will there be at least one Tacos with Edward cooking stream as part of the Patron Drive? I mean, clearly Chip wants that. I don't know. The problem is, because I do stuff live, it makes it really hard to have stuff marinated and then, but you know, I could do like let's face it, we love tacos al pastor. I haven't done that. So I could like have one already marinating and then show you how to marinate it, put another one in, and we just have tacos for like a week. I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. That could be. I don't know if there's interest in that, but there's a ton of good way better cooking channels. But yeah, I mean, we could, maybe that wasn't planned, but I mean, if there's demand for that, Chip, maybe. All right. Oh, wow. I lost my spot. That's terrible. All right. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Sergey asks, why do you think PAX Penning is not a PAX game? I did try it yesterday and had some PAX Premiere vibes. And it was brought up to me when I went on this rant previously that the designer of PAX Penning probably didn't mean it as a PAX series type game, but PAX as in the time like PAX Romana. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. But it's not a PAX game in a board gaming realm as you think of as PAX. PAX being PAX Porfiriana or PAX Pamir or PAX Emancipation or whatever. It's not one of those. Why? It has no card market. Let's start there, which I think is one of the core tenets of a PAX game. So I rescind my rant from previous Ask the Elephant when I went off on that. And thinking about it from a PAX, from a time period PAX, it makes sense. And yeah, I'll buy that then. And by the way, we're going to stream it at some point. So there's that. Hope that answers your question, Sergey. What does Lincoln think of the snow? Chip asks. Lincoln absolutely loves snow. Hates the ice. Hates it. So, a greyhound from Florida, you wouldn't think would love the snow. Loves the snow. Loves it. Just frolics. Has a blast running in it. Hates the ice. Which, does anybody not hate ice? The only thing I like ice in is in drinks. That's it. And Steven brings up a good point. Snow belongs on fields and mountaintops where it can look pretty. Not in my driveway. That's fair. Yes, agreed. Ugh. What do I enjoy? Okay, this one's from Arter. What do you enjoy more about splatter economical games than 18xx games and vice versa? Oh. That's the funny thing. My favorite splatters aren't their economic ones. So I don't know that I do. I do love the merger mechanism in Indonesia. I think it is perfect. I think it's wonderful. But I also hate the operations aspect of Indonesia. But anyway, like Food Chain Magnate, not my favorite. Splatter, right? Not in my top 5. Yeah, not my top 5. So, yeah, I don't think I do. Now, I don't dislike them. They're just not my favorite. But on the vice versa, the things I dislike about the economics in 18xx is the constant calculating of roots. Oh, I hate it so much. I'm fine at it, and it's fine, but not my favorite. Not my favorite. And I still have yet to play 1817 or any of its derivatives. So I think I lean more towards the operational run good companies side of 18xx than I do the financial shenanigans side of it. But that's not to say I dislike those. And I very much want to play it. It's just I need to dedicate the time to it, and I just haven't yet. What I think might happen is the Gathering of Friends. They do an 18xx every morning, and I'm going to be partaking in a handful of those this year, so I'm looking forward to that. So that might be a good opportunity for that. So, yeah, and notice I didn't list what my favorite splatters were, because we're going to be doing top 50. I have reached out to the patrons and asked them, and this is another perk, actually, of being a patron, is I use them as sounding boards a lot. For, hey, what do you think of this? Or what do you want with this? Or do you want X or Y? And I take their advice. But like, I'm doing a top 50, and I'm going to have a couple, 2, 3 people with me from our local group. And I asked the patrons, whose top 50 do you most want to hear about? And so, you know, stuff like that. But one thing else we're going to do is we're going to do a HCHQ top 50. So it's, I think I'm using the word correctly, an amalgamation of all of ours, or a combination of all, and then we'll see how HCHQ's top 50. I think that'll be cool to see. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, John says, we are currently driving through Connecticut to New Jersey. Jackie's driving. Okay, thank you for that, John. Okay, good. Yeah, Connecticut. And what's the name of the highway? There is a 2-lane each way highway that is one of the worst in the country, because God help you, if there's an accident on that highway, you are shut down and there is no relief. There is nowhere you can go. Knock on wood, we haven't gotten stuck on it yet, but it is horrible. And the entrances, the exit, the on-ramps aren't on-ramps. They're stop signs. So you go from a stop to the highway. There is no merge lane. It is, I hate Connecticut. I hate everything about Connecticut. The end. So drive safe, Jackie. Okay. TV Spangin. So wait, you drove to New York City, then Brooklyn? Yes. And TV Spangin says, I think kosher sushi would just be no crustaceans. Yes, there is no shellfish and no uni, which I'm okay with no uni. Anyway. Do I know when the hotel will be available for HeavyCon? Gary said. Yeah, in March. When will Heavy Cardboard move from Slack to Discord? When the patrons want it to. Until then, it won't. And last I checked, it's about 50-50. So ain't moving. So you're saying that J-Rex can beat you at sushi eating as well as many games? Apparently. Historically, the answer is no on the sushi eating. but I'm going to blame the 2 pieces of pizza I ate earlier in the day. Worth it. Worth it. Because dollar pizza in New York City is better than just about any pizza anywhere else. Facts. Facts. Apparently, I drove a lot of people away talking about either sushi or the Patron Drive, but sorry. Okay. Let's see. Going through, catching up. Star Eye asked, I enter very uninformed here, but is Heavy Cardboard going to play Molly House soon? Uh-huh. Gary says, Slack said, bring our hot takes. But the only thing I can take of is that Feudum is underrated. I'll have to play it again. I'm not opposed to playing it. I'm just not going to teach it again. Oh, Seth says best orange juice is better. So, like, top of the line orange juice is better than top of the line lemonade is what he's saying. But I think average lemonade might be better than average orange juice. Yeah, if it's made from concentrate, I agree. Like, I mean, and fresh squeezed orange juice, you don't know. Like, it is so much better than regular orange juice. You pay for it, but it's so much better. So much better. Okay, now I need to catch up. All right. F2P Engineer over on Twitch says, I just wanted to shout out the excellent roundtable at the end of Power Grid. A fantastic assortment of experiences. Well, great. Well, there you go. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right. All right. Now that I am caught up there, I can actually use this. Here we go. And yes, that was a big fish. That was an enormous fish. I'm not familiar with Gambledore. I have no idea what that is or who that is, as it were. Denise says, I watch you play Black Forest. Going to play it this weekend. All right. Enjoy yourself. I hope you have a good time with it. Hopefully you enjoyed our playthrough. Dave says, I ordered the 2nd edition upgrade pack from Mr. President. I was hoping it'd be out by now, but it looks like it's going to be Q2 or Q3 of this year. Wow, that was supposed to be out last February? Huh. Yeah, things slide. It happens. F2P Engineer. I hated Lorenzo. Here's my reason. The reason I have said this ever since Lorenzo Il Magnifico came out was, in my opinion, a game needs to do one of two things. It either needs to do something original, or it needs to take things that you know from other games, be it mechanisms or other heuristic-related things, and do them in a newer, unique way. Lorenzo does neither of those things. But it's a popular game, so what do I know, right? But, yeah. Oh, that's why, there you go, TV. That's why I questioned its existence. So. Innovation Ultimate on the way, Steven. Yeah, Dev asks 3 questions, really. What do you think of Lignum and Imperial Steam? Go back and watch those videos. I've given opinions. Lignum, ugly as sin. I gotta be honest, not a looker, but a really fun game. Yet, I never feel compelled to bring it back to the table. I don't know why that is, but And the designer is a super sweet human, a good individual. I really enjoy Lignum. Just it hasn't hit the table in forever. Imperial Steam might have the sharpest edges of any game in existence, and my last experience with Imperial Steam was not super great and not really excited to jump back into it, to be fair. And the third question was, how do you keep playing board games every day? Take breaks. Some games I don't look forward to, but it's my job, and that's okay. But I keep things fresh. And one of the benefits is I get to make my own schedule, so I usually get to put the games on that I want to play. It doesn't always work that way. There have been some recent games that I have not been super keen to play, but we streamed because others have, or patrons have wanted it, or for a myriad of reasons. But yeah, I go play poker. I spend time with Jess. I spend time with Lincoln. I treat myself to good food. I fancy myself pretty decent cook. So I enjoy cooking as a hobby as well. And so just do things other than board games. But yeah, I don't play games every day. And playing for fun means I'm streaming games, be it for the patrons or for the public in general. Seth says, not sure if this has been shown or talked about before. It hasn't. But I'm really curious what the studio setup looks like. I have no doubt that you are, Seth. Just a big TV hooked up to the computer. Full disclosure, like what I'm looking at right now is the screen that has my it's a TV that I use as a computer screen. And that is where I monitor the stream. The one below that I'm looking at now has the stream itself on, as well as the running thing of chat that I monitor. And then there is a lot of other stuff around here. And enough people have tried to copy me that I'm just not, I have a bunch of stuff set up everywhere. It's all custom. I did it myself, learned on the way. So there you go. Apparently Dev's new around here, so welcome, Dev. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. Go check out some of the streams. I appreciate that. Fernando says, I'll try and up my level, even if for a few months. I appreciate that, Fernando. I appreciate the support. At whatever level patrons choose to support, I am grateful. So thank you. No, I have not figured out Twitch emotes, Rocky. I was watching Banzinator last night, and hype trains and like all this stuff is so beyond me. I'm an old man. I mean, I'm trying. By the way, at the end of this, for those of y'all on Twitch, help me remember and we'll go raid somebody. I am terrible about remembering that, and I really want to get better for that. So, all right. Oh, God. Jakob, really? Question for the poker expert. Not a poker expert. I'm very good, but far from an expert. When I travel to Boston for HeavyCon, I have to look a U.S. border official in the eyes and keep a straight face, despite what the U.S. government is doing. How? Godspeed. Okay. While I'm not equating the U.S. government to the Russian government, as a Marine and somebody that served his country faithfully for 9 years, I can honestly say it's an embarrassment what's going on with our government. And hey, Hold on, I can't read that. I can't read that purple on the screen. Let's see, who was that? Papa Noel. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. There we go. What I will say is, much like I don't hold the Russian individuals, the Russian people responsible for their government, please, not all of us are responsible for our current government situation. So remember that. But yeah, I'm sorry, Jakob. Just check how Massachusetts voted. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I recommend sedation. Yes, that is the right answer. All right. Pasta. If we're still asking questions, the way you know you can still ask questions, Pasta, is whether or not I'm live. If I'm live, you can ask questions. So there you go. Okay. All right. How did you land on your favorite sports teams? All right. That's a fun one. They seem spread out. They are. Did you live in those areas, like them as a kid, continue to follow? None of the above. All right. So I'm a mutt. What I mean by that is, so I was born in Michigan. I lived there for a couple years of my life. I have almost no memories of Michigan. I have no real connection to Michigan whatsoever. I spent early childhood in New York City. And then somewhere from 5 to 9, I was literally all over the country. I had a very rough childhood. My biological father kidnapped me. I was abused as a kid. I moved. I never lived any place more than 6 months at one time. I consider Portland, Oregon my home because I lived in Portland or the suburbs of Portland from roughly 12 to 18. Even though we bounced around like every 6 months, even there. I consider Portland, Oregon my home. So, so my stepdad, who I consider my real dad, who we met when I was 9, I think. He grew up and was a Dallas Cowboy fan. So I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan. So that's how I became a Cowboys fan. And let this be clear, I hate being a Cowboys fan. Alyssa likes to just rib me endlessly about it, but it really doesn't have much impact because I hate being a Cowboy fan. But I don't know how you switch teams as an adult. So there's that. I am a Cincinnati Reds fan. The reason I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan is because when I was about 10 years old, Eric Davis was with the Reds, and I idolized Eric Davis. I thought he was amazing and awesome. I loved his batting stance. I loved the way he played the game. He was fast. He hit with power. It was amazing. So I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan from that. And I'm an Oregon Duck fan because, again, I consider Oregon my home since I was 9. I never went to the University of Oregon, so some people might say I'm a bandwagon fan, but I was a fan of theirs since before Mike Bellotti, and I chose to join the Marine Corps instead of going to college. So there's that. I'm a Trailblazer fan. I put that in air quotes because I really just don't care about the NBA. I really don't. And I'm a Canucks fan for 2 reasons. One, they're the closest team to Portland at the time. It was before the Kraken. And Jody, my best friend, is from Vancouver, BC, is a season ticket holder. He was my poker buddy for the longest time, and he's the one that turned me on to hockey. So I am I didn't become a Canucks fan until 16 years ago, maybe. I wasn't a hockey fan at all, but I was a Canucks fan, and I'm still bitter about 2011, and I hate the Bruins because of it. So there you go. That's why. So kind of a amalgamation of all the stuff. Dev, Edward, how do you persuade your friends to do video playthrough recordings? So I initially was like, so guys, now they want to. Everybody that's a part of this, there is literally one person in our group, one, that doesn't want to be on camera. So we don't have him on camera. That's it. Everybody else wants to do this. They enjoy it. It's fun. They get to play all the hottest games. They get to play all the older games. They enjoy being a part of the community. So you should save that for when they're here. You can ask them then. Spot says, I'd be interested to see some discussions in the Patron Drive that dives into some game genres, like what makes it a coin or an 18xx or a pack or a cube rail, etc. And some associated playthroughs. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I think that's doable. Rocky over on Twitch says, I think as much as the game plays, the impressions give context or a feel that really only comes out after talking about it on the roundtable. Okay, that's fair take. Again, I'm a part of this, so I don't see it from your standpoint, but hearing it fed back to me in your, this discussion, I think is really helpful as to why you find it valuable. Right? Even though you just watched a teach, you just watched a playthrough, you can make your own opinions of it. But as you said, the impressions give context. So, okay, that's fair. Thank you, Rocky. Will we see Border Reavers as part of the 29 and 29? Well, didn't you just see it? Like, you just streamed it. Just streamed it. You want to see it again? Like, talk to me. Seth, doing the Lord's work over here. I appreciate it. Thanks. What's my favorite power grid map? Oh, God. This is going to be such a cop-out. There are a couple of exceptions, and I can't think of which one this would be the exception to, but probably the most recent one we played. Like, Power Grid is just great. It just doesn't need a lot of unique maps, I don't feel like. So I don't know that I have favorite Power Grid maps like I would Age of Steam. I know it's not a super great answer, but it's the truth. LGs. So one thing I didn't mention. So on the Patron Drive, I mentioned we have 701 patrons, paid patrons, which is what really we go off of in that. And I said this way back when this was called. Well, actually, I don't have it up here anymore. The 146 box, 136 or 146 box. It was called the 146 box because when we had 146 patrons, I started tracking them on the screen, and then the background changed. When I got to 1,000, and it hasn't happened yet, we're at 701. If we get to 1,000, I'm getting a Davis tattoo. I'm getting the logo. So, yeah. But, so, that's the plan. So if we get to 1,000, that'll happen. So we get to 1,000. I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. I will commit to it. And hell, might even have it live streamed. I don't know if anybody wants to see it, but maybe. I'm just saying. It's a long ways away. Maybe it's not. Maybe this will be the most amazing Patron Drive in the history of Patron Drives. But that'd be awesome. We get 299 more patrons. And I'm hoping, oh God, my biggest fear is like we hit 1,000 and it drops to 700 the next month. So, in all seriousness, and I'm not kidding, the last day of the month is the most stressful day of the month every month for me. Because are people going to quit? Is there going to, like, yeah, it's stupid how stressful that can be. Anyway. Brianna says, I would love some of your best vegetarian recipes. You've mentioned one of the kids is vegetarian. Two of them, the girls are. Always looking for more to add to my list. Now, to be clear, they do make an exception for cheese. The girls have learned the joy of cheese. But they don't eat meat, like hard stop. On occasion, the youngest will, like Wendy's chicken nuggets. She's all about it. All about it. So and to be fair, it's a texture thing. So she's 11. She's entitled to make her own choices. However, the 17-year-old, hardcore, except cheese. But to be fair, we'll eat like Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers and stuff like that. And isn't like totally militant. Like if there is I make Loco Moco, like for those unfamiliar, is a Hawaiian dish, and it is a base of rice with a Salisbury steak, i.e. a hamburger patty on top, and then a fried egg. Oh, and everyone will eat eggs also. That is the exception to that. And then a brown gravy on top. The absolute non-meat eater will have the brown gravy and will have the egg and like an Impossible Burger on top of the rice. So there's that. Okay. So, and again, no, I'm not saying anything that isn't like public info or like not divulging any secrets, but it's not like hardcore militant vegan or vegetarian. That's not the case. Just one of them just does not like meat and the other doesn't like the texture of it. So that said, vegetarian dishes, yeah, I can definitely share some at some point. I don't have them off the top of my head. Although, you know what? For you, Brianna, a moment. Let me look and see if I have any off the top of my head. Oh, like mushroom stroganoff? Big fan in the house. I have a pretty good meatless lasagna. Oh, by the way, the kids crush Skyline chili. I made a vegetarian Skyline chili the other day, a few weeks, months, whatever ago, and they crushed it. All of them did. They loved it. Can't tell the difference whether it's real meat or like Impossible Burger meat and what. Oh, it was, yeah. So anyway, moving on. Pasta says, "Oh, I'm super interested in seeing the tacos al pastor being made. It's awesome." There you go. Look, Patrons being awesome to one another. Jakob says, hey, Brianna, I didn't know you were vegetarian. I should probably post my vegan chili recipe on the Slack. I eat meat, but I've stopped using meat and chili because I can't taste the difference. There you go. I love y'all. Y'all are the best. Thank you. Yeah, so it's going to be, I mean, I don't want to beat people over the head about this Patron Drive. I mean, yes, I'm mentioning it a lot today. I get it. Yeah. But like during the drive, we're going to talk about it on every stream, and the graphics are going to be a little bit different, but otherwise it's just, hey, come support the show, please. And honestly, whether you support the show through Patreon or not, spreading the word. We still only have 32,000 subscribers, which is an amazing number. But I would like to see that number way bigger. So help me, help you, help me. Like it's symbiotic here, right? Only thing you did now is make everyone curious for your top 5 splatters. There will be you'll be able to tell that when I do the top 50, which makes sense, right? I promise you there will be trick-taking streams during the Patron Drive as well. Merritt Parkway. That is the Devil's Highway. Thank you, John. Ugh. I hope you're off of that by now. Sorry, Eric. Don't tell your mom because she's from Connecticut. Nope. Okay, if anyone's going to Vegas anytime soon, if you go to the Wynn and have the sushi there, Jakob says the uni gunkin with a raw quail egg on top. Almost fell off my chair is how good it was. Noted. Another layer asks, some highly thematic game live streams lately. Will Gloomhaven / Sleeping Gods get a chance too? I'm not going to say no, but I will tell you that nothing like that is planned. But I won't say it won't happen. Okay, another layer. Seth says, I really want to hear Paul's top 50. So here's the deal. So Martin Fowler, his top 50 isn't going to change a whole lot. He's probably not going to be a part of that. So it seems, I haven't checked in a little bit. Me, Ken, John, I forget who the fourth was. There may be 4 is the ideal number for the top 50. We may do 5, but if so, that might be like a multi-day stream then. Like we'll do 21 to 50 and then we do top 20 over the course of 2 different sessions. That might be how that has to go, and then we'll do the HCHQs as another one. So there's that. Gary says, I've always been met with eye rolls when I say I like Greed Incorporated more than Bus. I don't think so. Greed Incorporated, the theme on that strikes me as bizarre that they're able to republish or, reprint that. Because the 80s theme, the 80s, I thought they might get a little bit of backlash on that, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Like what you like. There's no reason for eye rolls. Anybody that eye rolls it, don't yuck on somebody's yum, right? Like, look, if Lorenzo Il Magnifico is your favorite game and you love it, great. I'm happy for you. I don't enjoy it as much, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or yuck on your yum. So that's just bad form. Don't do that. I'm sorry, Gary. Yeah, Mr. President Digital. I just feel like, I mean, I get it. Kind of like I get why Through the Ages, right? Or Race for the Galaxy, whatever. I just don't want to play it. It's not for me. Again, not yucking somebody's yum. So I'm sure a lot of people are super excited about it, but yeah, no. No. Ha, that makes me happy. Another layer says, I ended up trying games based on your top games for X number of players, Edward. Sidereal Confluence, Automobile, or at Labora. Blew my mind how good these games are, and they're so underrated. Now, to be fair, I mean, none of those I feel like are underrated. Like, if you've been in a hobby for a while, and like, these are classics and they're great. Great games, loved by thousands of people around the world. So I wasn't reinventing the wheel here. I just wanted to highlight some games that they're not the hotness. They're not the latest, greatest, so they get overlooked. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just glad that you really enjoyed them. That's awesome. Thoughts on Rococo? I feel strongly about this, Dunny. Rococo is the quintessential mid-weight Euro. It is what all other Euros are judged against as far as weight. That's my thoughts on Rococo. Okay, hold on. Before we go any further, I have a really, really important question here. We have a user by the name of At Least 17 Grapes. Before I go into your question, I need to know, I got to know the history behind your username. We'll wait. Go ahead. Orange Pico today. And then we have some lemon and ginger for the follow-up one. All right, I'll come back. I'll go ahead and answer your question, but I do want an answer to that. At least 17 grapes. Because 16 doesn't satisfy enough. I gotta know. Anyway, I just binge watched all of your John Company streams. By the way, somebody, let's talk like great TV series of late. At some point before I leave, remind me, because by the time I'm gonna forget about it. I want to talk about some of the ones we've been watching lately. Anyway, I just binge watched, and that's what made me think of it, all of your John Company streams. It was fun to watch, but was it as fun to play? It seems the events and betrayals can cause a wild difference in joy. Would you still play it? Hell yes, I would still play it. And I kid you not, I woke up this morning thinking about John Company and where I think it will fit. And does it? Ooh. Does it fit in my top 50? And if it's in my top 50, where? So, yeah, the events are just a pain in the ass to go through. Ricky Royal, the designer of the solo game of In John Company, made a 28-minute glorious video on just how to resolve the events in John Company. I watched it. I took 6 pages of notes from Ricky, and we still screwed it up in John Company. That pisses me off, and that's a pain in the ass. But I still really think the game is great. It's really, really great. I absolutely would play it again. As would a number of the folks here in the herd, and I imagine a bunch of y'all watching. But yeah, the events are just such a... I don't mind the swings on the betrayals and stuff, but the events, it bogs things down a little bit if it doesn't flow. And it breaks up the flow is what I'm trying to say. And it's just, that's a pain in the butt. But that's all. Hey, Edward. Hey, Arton. Just wanted to know your thoughts on Shem Phillips' trilogies, specifically South Tigris one, since it seems like it's his heaviest one. Now, Shem Phillips, correct me if I'm wrong. A moment. You know what? While I'm over here. There we go. Shem Phillips, right? Yep. So, most recent game of theirs. I have only played one of their other games. And I can't remember which one it was. I apologize. God, that should tell you something. But my impression of these games, basically Garfield games in general, of the two that I've played, yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Yeah. I mean, I'm not damning them with faint praise. Just it's not really my jam. Like I didn't find anything. Again, reference earlier what I said. Do have a unique mechanism or do something completely original, or take known mechanisms and processes and do them in a really unique, interesting way. And the two that I've played so far don't really do that. So the two experiences I've had with them don't knock my socks off. That's where I fall on that. How about a special cooking episode? Heavy cheese board. Funny you mentioned that. Another layer. There is a new cheese shop that opened in town. Historically, whenever we want specialty cheeses, or like we do a charcuterie board, we go to Salem, and the cheese shop is Salem, which Alyssa is familiar with. She would bring cheese to game days, and it is amazing. The cheese shop in Salem tends to focus on international cheeses, whereas our local cheese shop that is has a smaller selection, but they're all domestic and tend to be more local. New Hampshire, Vermont. There are some Wisconsin cheeses they have there, and some are just amazing. Some are not my cup of tea. I like some funk, but some of them take it to the upteenth level, and that's beyond me. There you go. Jakob says, I don't suppose you'll be playing any of the new PAX games. PAX Hispanica and PAX Illuminaten. It is very well possible that Illuminaten, for sure, almost assuredly, I'm not going to guarantee it, and I'm not going to say when. I'm not promising during the Patron Drive, but there's a good chance that Illuminaten will happen. There's also a chance the High Frontier 4 happens again. Bushman asks, have you streamed Black Angel solo? If not, I would love to see a full teach and playthrough. Have I streamed Black Angel solo this week? I feel confident the answer is no, so therefore I have no clue. In other words, I can't remember. Somebody would have to go back and check. And if not, yeah, sure. Let me grab trusty notebook. Marine Corps pen. PAX Illuminaten. Put it on the list. And Black Angel solo. And by solo, you mean tag team solo. If there are any other games previously during this Ask the Elephant that I didn't, like those are the only two I wrote down that I should write down, like remind me. Because I just got the notepad. My bad. Sorry. But yeah, actually, remind me down below. Dev asks, Edward, if I become a patron, do I get a one-on-one session casual chat? Probably not. Cause I mean, I suppose I could set a level for that for a one-on-one, but it probably wouldn't be worth it to people. I mean, maybe, but it's not something I normally do. Bernardo. Greetings, Edward. Greetings, Bernardo. How are you doing today? By the way, it was pretty funny. When I went to the local home game, and by home game, I mean Kay Boulet's home game. People were like, I'm me. I'm like this at the poker table, which is going to annoy the ever living out of some people, and other people really enjoy my personality. Kind of like some people in board games don't like me, and yeah, whatever. Anyway, so got to talking like, hey, what do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, hey, I run this YouTube channel. I teach people how to play board games. And they were like, no, but really? Seriously? Some of the people asked that. And then there was the dude sitting next to me was like, really? My wife probably knows who you are. And I was like, oh, yeah, we have a collection of like 200 board. I was like, you're my people. Another guy at the end of the table, he's like, so like Catan? I was like, yeah, all right. Like, because, I mean, I get the whole Monopoly risk thing, is. I like using Pax Pamir as my baseline to talk to people about the types of games we play. That was kind of fun. Anyway. I don't know Gambledore. No, in poker, I have no idea who that is. No, sorry. Fair, Rocky. I've gotten bad at it since marbles stopped being a thing. Is marbles still running? Is it still a thing? Because if so, we might could bring that back starting in 5 days. I'm just saying we could do that. What's my opinion about Colon Colony? I really, really like Colon Colony. I think it's a pretty solid game. Really good game. I have to play it again. I would have to play it again to be able to define whether or not good or great. But it's somewhere in that range. How did I get into the hobby of board games? I've told this story before, but here we go. I'll abbreviate this a bit. So I used to play poker for a living up until April 15th, 2011. Well, I would argue actually, yeah, since till then, even though that was a Friday and I stayed logged in till Tuesday. Anyway, the government took it away. Didn't want to leave the country, so realized I had to get back into aviation. So, which is what I did before I played poker for a living. And so when I worked avionics, and I listened to podcasts all day and listened to some board game podcasts. And at the time, nobody was really talking about the games that me and my friends were playing. So after a couple of years, I had the idea to start a podcast, asked a buddy if he wanted to do it with me. He was like, how do you do it? I said, hell if I know. And so I figured it out. We tried, started doing that. Oh, wait, that's how the show started. Back up. How did I get into board games? Right. So after I couldn't play poker anymore, was looking for something that could do indoors in Colorado because we weren't, me and the ex weren't big in outdoor people. And I stumbled on a game store in a mall in Colorado. And I was like, I mean, literally my reaction was like, I was in, a kid in a candy store doesn't begin, honestly. I was in heaven. I was just amazed, like all of these board games. And I was in awe and just started that. I bought 5 board games. One was the only 2 I can remember of the 5 that I bought was Arkham Horror and Twilight Struggle. I kid you not. And from there, I found BGG. And then, fortunately or unfortunately, when I found BGG, I found the Geek List auctions. And also, I don't know how to do things half-assed. And I jumped into the hobby, and in the first year, I had acquired 300 games. Now, of those 300 games, 5 of which were bought new. Those 5. So Arkham Horror, Twilight Struggle, and like 3 others. The others were all bought used and in like lots. Like I did hours in like literal thousands of hours of research on board games that people were selling, and I would get them for $5 or $10 or $12 each, and then buy a bunch and then save on shipping this way in these auctions, and that's how I got into the hobby. So there we go. I hear you, TV. I hear you. Also hates me being a Cowboy fan. I know. See Cash. Cash says, I had an Eric Davis Magnum 44 poster up when I was a kid. So one of my bucket list things is to go to the Reds spring training. Eric Davis is down there every year. I've never met Eric. I did meet Ken Griffey Jr. on 3 different occasions, who became my second kind of idol growing up as a kid, especially growing up in Portland. He was a Mariner, but also went to my Reds. So yeah, kids, don't meet your heroes. He was a dick to me all 3 times. And that was such a crushing experience. And I met him as an adult. Like, I wasn't like a little kid, but I almost little kid like seeing, being able to meet him up close. He just wasn't nice to me on any of those 3 times. Griffey Jr. wasn't. And that was such a huge bummer, dude. Eric Davis, I've never heard anyone speak badly about, though, so I'm excited about that. But bucket list, going to spring training. And if anybody ever wants to pay for me to go to Cincinnati Reds fantasy camp in February one year, that would be the other bucket list baseball experience. That it's thousands of dollars, and I'm never going to be able to afford to go to that. But if anybody would like to pay my way to that, I'm all for it. I will gladly, yes, please. So yeah. Rocky says, certain irony of I'm about to not have a job, voluntary separation. Congrats or I'm sorry. I'm not sure which is appropriate here, Rocky. So, good luck. Says, which means there's time to drive to Boston, but then money becomes a factor. Boston is insanely expensive. It is ridiculously expensive here. But hey, if you want to come visit, Rocky, I'm all for it. Bernardo says, I'll teach you how to do tamales. Threaten me with a good time. Let's do it, Bernardo. Oh, okay. He's an entertaining lag that plays on Triton. Oh, so he's a high roller and he's Estonian. Okay, I'll look him up. Hey, Lincoln. Lincoln, come here. Nope. He just, oh, come here. Come here. Nope, he went up to bed. Sorry, guys. I tried to have a Lincoln sighting. All right. Yeah, it happens on occasion, Rocky. Thanks, Rich and Cheesy. John asks, don't share specific details, but do you know anything of the new Splatter game they're working on? If you do, how excited should we be? You should always be excited about a new Splatter. Dr. Viz asks, I know it's a huge commitment for the two of you. Any chance for another Mr. President playthrough with Special Advisor James? Could happen. If the second edition ever drops. Could happen. Did I hear about Splatter testing a new prototype? Marius asks. Yes, I have. Just tuned in, so I didn't watch before. Would be cool if you could interview him. I mean, I like my chances of seeing Jeroen very soon. So, could happen. Let's see. Tropical Penguin. What's up? Hope you're staying cool. Let's see. It says, anyone asked about next Aegis Steam stream? Nope, no one has. Edward, favorite movie? Oy, wow. I mean, The Color of Money is still one of my all-time favorites. I'm a kid of the 80s and 90s, and Swingers hit at just the right time. Shawshank Redemption is fantastic. A single favorite? I don't know. That's really hard. All right, great TV series. Carla says, SAS Rogue Heroes. I don't know that one. So, let's see. I am through season 1 of The Bear. Fantastic. Stressful as all get out, but I'm loving it. I hate Richie. I've heard I will change my opinion on him. But, yeah, I love that. Through 2 seasons of the Silo. That was fantastic and pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. We are 6 episodes into season 1 of Severance. Pretty cool. Shrey's not here, so he can't answer. Ripley, that was it. Oh my God. If you haven't seen Ripley, go watch it. The first 2 episodes I was so out on. I was like, oh God. But I was forced to continue to watch it, and I'm so glad we did. Ripley was fantastic. So there we go. Those are my latest viewings. Anything else that you would recommend? I want to know. Fernando says the most recent great series I watched was Station 11. So I'm writing these down. And what was that? SAS Rogue Heroes. Okay. I mean, I want to hear it, people. Like, what are you into? What's good? Penguin was good. It was. But the funny thing is, I'm like 3/4 of the way through the first season. I think that's all there is so far. And I'm just not super drawn into finishing it, but I've enjoyed watching it. Reacher. Good series of books. God, that show's terrible. I watched 5 minutes of the first episode and just completely checked out. Oh my God, that was terrible. It was so bad. Marcus, yes, John Company, another game I bought because of heavy cardboard. You're welcome. You're welcome, Marcus. And how glad am I about it? John Company 2 is one of the best games I've ever played. See? That's what I'm saying. All right, Mikhail. I think I'm saying that right. Says, I rewatched your entire ARCS campaign playthrough multiple times. God bless you. Since it's easily as entertaining as most sci-fi shows that exist. Wow. Any plans to return to it? Or Oath? I was really excited for season 2. We've actually started a season 2 of ARCS. Just don't run over and go watch it until we're done today. Okay? Adam says Station 11. Incredible. All right. Okay. I find semi-co-op games like John Company depend on the player since people need to work together while keeping the agenda. What are my thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's... So these, like, co-opetition games I've become a fan of, but I got to be in the right mood for it. So, like John Company as an example, right? Yeah. CO2, yeah. CO2 didn't hit. Not my favorite Lacerda. It's certainly not in the top a lot. But I get the sentiment there. Murillo says, or Murillo, I'm not sure which that is, but given the last name, I'm going with Murillo. Tell me if that's right. I was a midweight Euro dude, and HC John Company plays convinced me to get it and instantly became my favorite game. So I'm curious on that note. I ask you a question. Do you still live in Midweightville, which is a great town, wonderful town, lots of things to visit and experience there? Or have you gone up in elevation a bit, up into the foothills and the mountains where the air gets a little thinner and the weight becomes a little heavier? That's a pretty damn good analogy off the top of my head. I'm pretty happy with that. That was pretty good. Oh God, Vendetta over on Twitch asks, what games are slated to leave the heavy cardboard collection? Top of my head. Hundreds. Just games that I have streamed and just we're not going to get back to. Like, there's just no call for it. I'm terrible at off the top of your head. When we organize the library in the coming weeks, I will have better answers for that. New party. Edward, what are your thoughts on Railways of the Lost Atlas? I really like it. I am shocked at how much I liked it and how good of a job it does. I really thought it was going to be subpar at best. You're going to see that during the Patron Drive, and literally as soon as I can herd the cats all together. That's going to be streamed. So yeah, really, really enjoy that. Dev asks, how do you or I judge that a board game has original mechanisms or take existing mechanisms, make it newer? I mean, it's a feel thing, right? Like, is this a new mechanism? Have you experienced this before? No? Okay. I mean, that one's self-explanatory, but make it newer. I mean, once you get enough experience under your belt and you've played hundreds, if not thousands of games, you get a pretty good feel of these things, I would say. Yes, you can expect it. Funny, New Party and Peter both asked about Lost Atlas. Yeah, coming soon. It honestly, we did one, maybe two. I think we did two patron-only streams of it so far, and the public stream will be sometime during the Patron Drive. I've wanted to get it done, just schedules haven't aligned for the other people that are involved in that. All right, take a look into marbles for me, Rocky. Thank you. Huh. I appreciate that, Gary, but you don't have to do it. But I hear you. Thank you. Virsindas Volk stream, Alfonso asks. Seeing as there's more two-player content lately, yeah. Asher and I had talked about it. Now that I believe the kid's off to college, is that right? I think for Asher, that could happen. We could do Virsindas Volk. I'm having a discussion with a friend, Fernando says. What constitutes a Euro game? Mechanisms over theme is the very broad stroke baseline, right? I have a lot of trouble conflating stuff like viticulture and food chain magnate under the same broad category. Euro becoming a boring umbrella. I mean, we could actually have a pretty big discussion on this and give examples of things like Forbidden Stars, right? So that's a fantasy flight game, which immediately makes you think Ameritrash, however you want to call it nowadays, whatever, because it's fantasy flight, but the mechanisms are fantastic and very Euro-y. It's so good. It's so good. So where does that fall? And see, that's Like it's not always a cut and dry line. Like, okay, if we're going to call mechanism over theme, what about obsession? Obsession is clearly a Euro, but the theme is just dripping in that game. So yeah, it's a more nuanced, and I think that's something that we can have a discussion about. Just I don't want to belabor the rest of the show on it today. But yeah, I think that's a fair question. Where do you draw the line? I mean, I feel like drawing lines, hard lines. Like, okay, and then you have like the line of, oh, is this a Euro or a war game? And hence where Waros come in. And so drawing hard lines in most anything, I mean, there's fusions. There's fusions in food, in cultures, in board games, in movies, in art, in music. So I don't think it matters. Honestly, is the bottom line. Hey, do you enjoy this game? Play it. Doesn't matter what it is, right? Okay, that's good to hear, Rocky, I think. Or at least half good. I hope I hope you land on your feet and everything's good. But yeah, some time off to relax, great. And as long as the doctor's okay with it, right? You're welcome, Dev. Hopefully you come around more and you can catch other live streams. Tend to be in the evenings, Eastern time. Top 3 video games of all time, Twister asks. All right, Twister, we got to break this down. Are we talking arcade video game or are we talking console? Those are two very different. I need that before we answer this question. That is yeah. Zivko says second season of Severance maintains the quality. I have theories. They're probably all wrong theories. Jess has some theories. Probably right theories. She's freakishly good. Like, scary good at being able to figure out shows stupid early. It's impressive. It really is. But she's not 100%. Which doesn't ruin the show then. Apparently, the books are better for Silo. I believe the series is called Wool, I think. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Adam says, Silo's incredible. I was shocked to learn that the 2 seasons don't even fully cover the first book in the series. Didn't know this. Okay, George. Princess Bride for me. Second is Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. TV series. X-Files and Stargate SG-1. Okay. Weird Proposal. Star Wars Andor. Undoubtedly the most mature series set in the Star Wars universe. Zivko. Okay. Ted Lasso was great. I agree, Rocky. Star Wars Andor. Yeah, Star Wars... can't. It's fine. I don't bag on it. I don't, but it's fine. It's the same circular story being told over and over. I haven't watched all the spin-offs, but just no. We had a discussion, or there was a discussion that I joined last night in Slack. Let me find it. Has to do with board games, so bear with me. It's Star Trek. Oh, come on. Here, let's do this. There we go. Where was it? It was... I gotta go back. Oh, there it is. Star Trek Captain's Chair. Designed by David Turtsey. He was so excited about this at the Gathering of Friends last year. I mean, he was just giddy excited. He really was. So from what I've heard, it's pretty great. But it's also, it helps if you're a Trekkie. I am very much not a Trekkie. But apparently, even if you're not, it's supposed to be really good. So I'm going to check it out. He was just so excited about it. It wasn't just David Turtsey. Let me get the co-author of that. It was... Who... I'm looking. A moment. Somebody mentioned it. Thought they did. Oh, yeah. Nigel Buckle was the co-author of that one. Supposed to be really good. Anyway. SplatterCon. I have not mentioned it. Jeroen came last year, Steve said. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. I mean, it's his con. Well, it's not. It's about his games, I should say. Well, glad you hung out. Dev, where are you? Dev says, I'm supposed to be in bed. So that tells me we are somewhere, let's see, in bed. Wow, if you're in bed, I'm thinking somewhere in Asia? That's my guess. Adams show recommendations. The Old Man, Station 11, Scavenger's Reign. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Ted Lasso's always great. Like, isn't that the person we all strive to be and all failed to be? But yeah, it's pretty amazing. Sunder asks how the glory to Rome. It says, I assume that's substitute for cussing. It is. How did that come about? Somebody will answer that for you. Slow horses, apparently. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dilwyn and LGs. Yeah. Co-op petition's great because you don't get quarterbacking like in Pandemic. Never play Pandemic. Feel no need to play Pandemic. And yeah, the quarterbacking in solo or in co-ops. That's a problem for sure. Chip says, any more interview streams, cocktail nights planned? The cocktail nights, we're definitely going to have one, maybe two of those during the Patron Drive. Some are going to be just us local. So that'll be nice. Yeah. Would love to see you play with Jonathan or Liz, some of the folks from Game Brain. Yeah, we could do that. Kind of have do you want like us just hanging out, shooting a breeze, drinking? Or do you want us to play a game? The game part's harder because if they're remote, right? It's just harder. So like we could probably arrange some of that. Murray Lowe. And said that was a good analogy. I'm climbing. All right. 1862 just arrived, though. Enjoy the solo. That is so good. It is so good. Oh, it's pronounced like Michael, not Mikhail. Okay. Lots of folks pronounce it Mikhail, though. So it's not anything new. Well, I try and get it right. So Michael. All right. Thoughts on Civolution? We really enjoyed it. George, it was, we really enjoy it. It is my... When you start learning Civolution, they have the packets, like the numbers 1 through 6 for the starting hand of cards. I don't like those in hindsight because they're there to teach you the mechanisms and to keep you on rails, in a sense, on a certain course. The reason I don't like or don't like them is because it puts you on rails to a point that it doesn't let you explore a lot of the different actions. And then it makes it seem like these other actions aren't valuable or useful. So it might sour people on the game. But it can be that there's so much going on because it's a Feld. And so if you're expecting a Feld, it's by far the heaviest Stefan Feld game in existence. But if you're expecting a Feld, you're expecting it to be a lighter game. So I understand having the little starter hands, the 1 through 6s. But I really feel like that almost does a disservice to the game, because I think the game blossoms when you don't start with those and you draft. But the problem is you don't have context. So that's a bit of a mixed bag. But I really enjoy the game otherwise. Fernando says, Edward's been saying for so long he's going to organize a library that if I live nearby, I'd volunteer. I know. I appreciate it. Dunny, would you say PAX Premier has ARX vibes? PAX is on my list next to get. ARX vibes. Let's see. In what way? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying I'm not seeing it. PAX has PAX vibes. That's so not a great response, but yeah, I don't see it. Maybe somebody watching can chime in on that. Computer Fountain, that wasn't English. Go read that sentence again, because that wasn't English. I don't know what you're trying to ask. AG speaks. We all listen. Curious about your thoughts on Terminus, which released last year. You previewed it in 2023, and it had one of the longer roundtables for a game. That's the last time I played it. So my thoughts are whatever I said on that stream. In other words, I don't remember. I know a lot of people locally have been asking for us to do a stream of Terminus. So, I don't know. Is there demand for Terminus? Do y'all want to see a stream of Terminus? I have a copy, New and Shrink downstairs. Well, it was New and Shrink. They played it at a game day recently. But if y'all are asking for it, we could probably do that. TV Spangen said, this has been a great stream, Edward. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for doing these Ask the Elephants. Really like this part of the channel. You are welcome. Thanks for watching. Wir sind das Volk needs to get added. I can't spell today, but that's okay. I know what I meant. Blech. Jakob says, once GMT softens up and pays you some money, please do Atlantic Chase. Look, Atlantic Chase is going to happen because I desperately want to, and John just got a copy. John apparently is my GMT Connect. So thank you, John. So when John's back from New York or from Jersey, we're gonna try and tackle some Atlantic Chase. So, because I want to. And Chip says +1 to Atlantic Chase. Yeah, I mean. Is there any chance of a solo Mage Knight stream? Arton asks. Didn't I do 3 of those already? I mean, I know I did. It was a rhetorical question. Like, you want more than that, Arton? Because ain't no more planned. Ain't no more planned. Yeah, that's proper English. But Adam says if you play Atlantic Chase, you need to try and get JT to be your opponent. So here's the deal. JT doesn't know this. So JT, if you're watching, JT lives in Denver. I would love for JT to come out for a handful of days, and he and I bust out Atlantic Chase and D-Day at Omaha Beach. I would really like that. But I can't afford to fly him out here. He's a lawyer, though, so he might be able to afford himself to come out here. If that's something he would like to do, I would love to do that. The invitation is there, JT. Ratik Raj I think is how you say that. What do you enjoy more? Food Chain Magnate or Great Zimbabwe? Great Zimbabwe. I feel like this is a ploy to get me to say my top 5 splatters. I see you. I see you. They're coming, but not today. Twister says, okay, top 3 console games then. Number 1, Final Fantasy Tactics. Number 2, Gallop Racer 2004. Oh, man, that third one. It would have to be a open world RPG. And trying to narrow that down, I have no idea. I have tried so hard to get into Red Dead Redemption 2. It is ridiculously detailed and it's amazing, but I can't get into it and I don't know why, and it's so frustrating. So I don't know what the third one would be, full disclosure. It would be an open world RPG because those are my favorite types of games as a general genre. But I got top 2 for you. There you go. Hopefully that answers your question, Twister. Oh my God. Seth says, someone found a rules mistake, misprinted card in Star Trek Captain's chair, entirely on the basis of knowing Star Trek lore. God bless them. That's the same type of people, which I am not disparaging this by any stretch. I think that's somewhat amazing. There are comments that I get on our streams, like at 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 11 seconds, you forgot to get your income or you forgot to pay a resource. And I'm like, God bless you for watching that close, that far in. My bad, right? That's amazing. So that's kind of cool, Seth. Okay. Star Wars Andor. I hear you, Adam. All right. All right. I'll try it. Okay. Agent Pendergast says, not a Trekkie either. But man, is Captain's Chair a fantastic game. Great experience. Okay. I'll mark it down so I don't forget it. All right. Space Explorer. Ellie De La Cruz for MVP this year? Could happen. My Reds over-under is 78.5 wins this year. If the team is healthy, they crush that. This is the first time I've ever considered making a season-long actual cash money bet on a team I follow. But if the Reds are healthy, I think they win the division. Genuinely. So Ellie, he's healthy. Potentially. He has the potential MVP in him. And all I know is it's going to be, if health works, just stay healthy, then I think this is a great year for the Reds. Look, how do we do in the playoffs? I mean, the Dodgers are just so OP. It's not even funny, but they're not in the Central last I checked. So win the division, anything can happen. The thing is, if the Reds don't win the division, I don't think the wild card is coming out of the Central or any of them. So therefore, you better win the division. So that's what I'm hanging my hat on. Scavengers, Dunny says, Scavengers Reign was great. Gave me the same feeling seeing Avatar World for the first time. So I've never seen Avatar, But I rode the ride at Disney World. That was pretty badass. That was pretty cool. Woo! That was a pretty good ride. Speaking of which, any other roller coaster aficionados out there? Anything new coming to Cedar Point this year? Anybody know? Fernando says, I'm really liking Foundation, but I don't know if I love it to the point of blindly recommending it. But watch the first episode and you'll know if it's for you. Okay. Foundation. Is it Foundations? No, singular. Okay. Okay. Marcus says pure co-op games are just solo games with the bookkeeping spread out. I used to love it, but over the years I've come to like them less and less. To me, when I hear co-op, I hear solo, and when I hear solo, I think co-op or tag team solo, and that's my favorite way to play them. I think that's an awesome thing. That look, I'm sure people are doing it far before we, coined the phrase the tag team solo, but that is such a great way to play these games. I love it so much. So that's fun. Rocky says, all right, what games have come up during Golden Elephant discussions that you haven't played but you want to? Okay, you asked. I will answer. I have to bring up a spreadsheet for this. 2024 yet to play Golden Elephant Award list. Okay. Just the Robin Hood, I haven't. Now, these are just even remotely possible. These are the ones we haven't played. I haven't played yet, at least. I'm not saying they're even possible. I'm saying remotely possible. This is the list that the group has made. Let me know if there's anything we're forgetting. If we've already streamed it, it's not going to get listed here because we've played it and we've streamed it and we've decided whether or not it might or might not be. I'm not going to discuss that part, but I'm just not going to mention it. Seven Empires, Adjusted Robin Hood, An Age Contrived, Andromeda's Edge. We've done. Beyond the Horizon, we've done, I think we did a patron-only stream. Maybe we did that off camera. I can't remember. Cube Express. Daitashi, we did a patron-only stream. Dune, War of Arrakis. Endeavor Deep Sea. Ezra and Nehemiah, we've done a patron-only stream of. Flatiron, Frozen Frontier. I, Napoleon, Imperium Horizons. Inferno. Lords of Baseball. Minos. Oranges and Lemons. We did stream Pampero already during the... Yes. We haven't streamed Pax Pending yet. Phoenix New Horizon. I think we streamed that. Power Grid Outpost. Purple Haze. Railways of the Lost Atlas. Red Death Rebellion. Reef Project. Streamed all those. SETI. Shackleton Base. Starship Interstellar. Stressbotics. With the expansion coming next month during the Patron Drive. Tanto Manta. Terminus, Other Side of the Hill. Through the Ice and Snow. Unconscious Mind. And Windmill Valley, we already did a patron-only stream of. Okay, there you go. That should answer your question. I'm having to circle back. Oh, on Civolution. I had to circle back. Yeah, y'all got to remember I get to these way later than when you ask them, so give me context when you're following up your own question. There. George says, you don't think it's packed with too much stuff? I was like, what? I had to scroll up. Civolution. I mean, go watch the roundtable that we did for Civolution. Some of the stuff I think could have maybe been removed, but yeah, overall we really enjoy it as a general rule. Spot says Cuba Libre and Netflix gives a lot of context for the board game. Good to know. Wait, what? Shrey. Shrey says, I like the Merritt Parkway. Bruh. Come on. Look, it's beautiful. The trees are pretty. The traffic is stupid and the drivers are idiots. And it's horrible. Sorry, Shrey, you're wrong. But you know what? I am going to yuck on that yum. No, Merritt Parkway, Expressway, terrible. Hard stop. Okay, Shrey said, I trust for recommendations. Not that I don't trust the rest of y'all, but he's been 100% so far. He says, Station 11 is one of my favorites from the year it came out, and Andor is the best Star Wars in years. Okay. I hear you, Gary. We'll see. George says, yes, on Terminus. I ordered it. It's on the way. I would like that. Noted. Oh, yeah. We streamed it for the Kickstarter, Jakob. Yeah, Terminus. I chose not to back it, but only barely. So please don't make me regret that decision. All right. It's on the list anyway. One down. What are we? We're 2.5 hours in, or just under 2.5 hours in? All right. Rocky, here's a business side question I've wondered about. Since you generate YouTube pennies, and that is a good way to put it, I am not generating a lot of YouTube pennies. Do you by chance know if those surveys before a video on demand help out at all? Don't think it qualifies as a click-through, but unsure if it helps the creator at all. I have no idea. So, yeah, I have no, I only have 32,000 and change subscribers. I don't make a lot on YouTube. Like, it is like whatever fifth is on the list of my incomes. So here are my income streams. Patreon, publisher sponsored streams, poker, I guess YouTube is fourth, Twitch is fifth. But if you add up YouTube and you add up Twitch, I am barely paying the electric bill for the studio. So that's context. Not a lot. Motaba, what's up? How we doing in Tehran today? Said another request for Atlantic Chase 2-player and solo, please. Okay, noted. Yes, everybody's mentioning Atlantic Chase, apparently, so I'm there. Jordan says it's so unique. I know, I can't wait to play it. Now that John has a copy, that has shot to the top of my really want to get into list. What GMT game would you recommend to start with? Battle Line. It's a great game. 2-player. Simple, but deep. Oh, it's so much fun. I love Battle Line. In what context, Dunny? You're going to have to... GMT publishes a wide range of historical simulation-themed games. Omid asks, Game 2 of ARC's campaign. When? Please! Soon. Patron Drive. Murillo says, ooh, Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm just telling you, it's my #1 game of all time. Video games. Eric says, Horizon series, Control, and Spider-Man. Katamari Damacy. I have no idea what that is, George. Sorry. Sometimes games get too open. That is true. I agree. See Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so scared of missing stuff, and I know it's inevitable in that game, but I can't wrap my head around it, and so it keeps me from actually playing the game. I think that's part of it. I think. Erms asks, any chance to see Here I Stand at one point? Funny you mentioned this. Here I Stand and Virgin Queen have both been in discussions within our group about. So maybe. That means Adam might have to make a drive. A lot of people are echoing that to Here I Stand. So y'all really should talk to GMT. I'm just saying. I mean, Time Agent by Tom Lehman, AG Speaks, brings up, which looks very 18XX with a very interesting time travel mechanism, but the game is not highly rated. Yeah, I don't think it worked real well. I never played it, but it was like talked about and then it wasn't. And I don't think that was entirely because of the hotness. I'm not 100% sure, but anybody out there? Time Agent? Ooh, big words, Steven. Andor was amazing. Best Star Wars since The Empire Strikes Back. Whoo! Okay, I'll give it a try. Dilwyn says, Captain's chair is incredible. Hasn't left my coffee table in 2 weeks. For those that were wondering, Dilwyn has no cats, clearly. Or sugar gliders, for that matter. And I am not a Trekkie. I have seen all the shows and movies, but that was years ago. Thank you for the disclaimer. Good luck to your Tigers, Rocky. I have no ill will towards the Tigers. Foundations in an adaptation of Isaac Asimov's classic sci-fi series. By the way, let me finish this. I'll circle back. The series on its own is interesting, but it's a terrible adaptation of the books, which turned me away. It's one of those use the IP as a booster case. Okay, good to know. Isaac Asimov. 5th or 6th grade, our class wrote a letter to Isaac Asimov, and he wrote back. I don't have the letter. It wasn't given to me, but he did write back, and that was amazing. I remember that. Shrey, I watch Foundation because it's high concept, large scope science fiction. I love that description. I love you, Shrey. But it is not one I would recommend to people. Okay, noted. Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. Adam says, when we went to Japan, we were pleasantly surprised to find a roller coaster park at the base of Mount Fuji. They have a great collection of world record coasters. Definitely recommend. We make it over there. I promise I will. SETI playthrough possible. I don't know. Ask John. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yes, we are going to be doing SETI at some point. Andre says, I am dying to see the next episode of ARCs. Please don't die. It's coming soon. Just hold off. I literally had 2 dreams about it, man. Please. I need that new dose of sweet, sweet cosmic stuff. All right. For you, Andre, bust it out as soon as possible. Bad news. Bad news. Rugby season started back up, which means Kyle. So it's a little bit harder. But we're gonna find a way to make it work. I'm watching your 1862 tag team with James, and it totally comes through as a co-op game. I mean, it works, right? Endeavor Deep Sea looks like it's coming, Fred. Colorado Midland, Colt B says we need to stream it. Okay, it's coming. Shackleton Base, one of my top 3 games from last year. So good, per Steven. Okay, noted. We played Shackleton Base. We played it pre-production at the Gathering last year. I need to replay it, and apparently a copy is en route to the group soon. So that should happen relatively soon. Three Body Problem. Halt and Catch Fire is old but good. Per cash. All right, noted. I hear you, George. I'd like to see a collab with dads and a map. I'd be down for that. We could just sit around, shoot the breeze one night. Like do a cocktail evening with dads on a map. So I know there's crossover between ours. Why don't one of y'all reach out to them and like let's get talking like that? Make that. I'm all for it. Did I hear you are planning to stream Stressbotics Odyssey here on the channel? Yup, it's sitting right behind me. You did hear it. Jakob says, my seat upgrade for my flight to HeavyCon gives me an extra suitcase. And GMT and Hollandspiel games are difficult to get a hold of in Europe. How many do you think I can fit? So, it is 40 kilos. Is that the limit on a bag? I'm going to say 16. 16 games, I think you can fit, Jakob. Also, because Hollandspiel games are so small, if you're not married to the boxes, you could just get gallon-sized Ziploc bags and put an entire game in a Ziploc bag, and you could get all of Hollandspiel's collection in a suitcase and have room for GMT games. Just saying. I have no idea what that meant, George. That was English. I read it. It made sense, but I have no idea what you mean. Was I contacted by BGG to do a short video on any of the Hall of Fame games? I was expecting to see you featured on at least one of the 3 games. No, I was not. Everyone, help Jakob choose Hollandspiel and GMT games that he should pick up. You could also do this in Slack. Start a thread, Jakob, and people will give lots of recommendations. Richard says, man, we played Arcs twice now and I can't stop thinking about it. It's pretty good. Are there any other board game content creators that I watch? Not real, like I've said in the past that John and I use each other's videos, depending on who's up first, to help the other learn and get ready for their video. Nathranya, I think, does a really, really great job. But honestly, and I would argue that almost every content creator will say this, you just don't have enough time. Oh, hi. Look who it is. There's a Lincoln Beak. Hi. Hi, bud. Hi. Oh, your breath stinks. So, Lincoln says hi to everybody. So, hi, bud. Hi. Boop. Hi. All right. Cool. Volume, it's 23 kilograms. Yeah. Jakob says, I think volume's the limiter rather than weight. Depends if you do what I said about the Hollandspiel games. All right. Okay, I'm going to have to Google this. Give me 1 second, people. George is being difficult. Oh, it's a video game. Katamari Damacy. Okay. I get it now. Thank you for the context. Okay. Hey, Ruel, what's up? Over on Twitch. just tuning in, I'd recommend heading forward from Hollenspiel. 100% I agree. That is the most unique theme that I've ever encountered, and I think it's pretty amazing and pretty cool game. Excellent solo hand management game about recovering from traumatic brain injury. I've streamed it, and that was wicked cool. I really enjoyed that. Good call, Ruel. And the Fields of Cloth and Gold, I think, is the name that we just played during the Valentine stream. Kyle and I, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I see you on Twitch, Ruel. I'm working my way chronologically. I see you though. Thank you. Hey, look at that. I have caught up. Hey, all right. Awesome. The only other thing I need to do is check. It's funny. There are a lot of patrons that don't use Slack. But yeah, like nobody ever comments on the post in Patreon, which is interesting. Hey, apparently we just got 2 new. Oh wow, we just got 3 recently. So Christopher, Sem, I'm not sure, and Dan. So cheers to the new patrons. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Yay. Since we've been streaming today. That's awesome. Yay. All right. Unexpected, but pleasant surprise. All right. Seth, there are some dense-ass GMT games. Facts. Border Reavers was a blast. Not one of those dense-ass GMT games, but that was a lot of fun. Ruel. Oh, also go Dodgers. Okay, I think I'm better now. All right, yeah. That's like pulling for the Yankees in the 90s. Look, you live there. It's your team, I get it. But I'm just bitter, okay? I'm bitter. I'm jealous and I'm bitter. I'm a Reds fan. But I genuinely believe we have a chance at the division this year. So. Oh, Con! What's up? We ever gonna see you again, Con? Come on. Now that your kid is healthy, which I am very, very grateful. And I am very much relieved to hear. But now that, come on. Plus, I still have games of yours, which you're not getting back until you come stream. Totally keeping them hostage. Plus, I'd like to just see you here. So, all right. Yes, it's baseball season, although the world is covered in ice outside my door, so it doesn't feel like baseball season, but baseball season is here, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah, Rocky, get your butt over on Slack. Ha, he's been slacking off. I see you. This war of mine anytime soon. I would like to. Tag team solo that thing. I would like to. See, look, Con, you're missed. See? People are wanting you to come on. There you go. I hear you about Discord. The patrons have spoken, half of which want to stay on Slack. Sorry, TV spangin'. Thoughts on the new Brass Map expansion, which will release sometime in the future? Have any inside scoops? I do not, therefore I don't. So we'll see. Looking forward to it, though. Hey, Miroslav. Welcome. Ruel, I do feel like a Yankees fan in the 90s. And I love it. Yeah. Well, this is how it must have felt to be a Reds fan in the mid-70s. I get it. Just, I wasn't born. I was born in 75, so I missed the Big Red Machine. I hear you, Con. I'm just saying I would like to see you over here. Big fan of Ellie, as you should be. Like, he's everything that's right in baseball, right? Ellie de la Cruz is just, he's joy on a baseball field. He is why we became fans of baseball. It is the way, the exuberance and the joy, that man, and he runs like a gazelle. It's just, it is everything that's right with baseball. The way he's just great. I would hate him if he was, I know I wouldn't. I would love him regardless, even if he was on not the Reds. Unless he were a Cub, then no, that's a bridge too far. But yeah, no, Ellie De La Cruz is baseball joy in human form. Yes, I agree. He's great. I'm glad to hear your son's doing well, Con. Yes, they're doing automatic ball strike in some of the spring training sites. It can't come quick enough. Looking forward to it. Adam has opinions. Adam says Dodgers are now way, way worse than the 90s Yanks. The 90s Yanks were mostly homegrown. Wait, it wasn't until the 2000s that they started buying everyone. Also, hi and thanks for the stream. That's a fair point. But, I mean, it's the evil empire regardless, right? But, yeah. I mean, yeah, nothing that the Dodgers is doing is wrong or against the rules. I'm all about finding the loopholes. God bless you. I just desperately want I want a salary cap, but more importantly, I want a salary floor. That is the biggest thing. I want a salary floor so that the owners like the Reds, the Pirates, the A's, the Rays, all of those teams have to spend a certain amount. It's just the imbalance is really gross at this point. Like the Dodgers payroll, I think, is higher than the net worth of the owners of a number of teams. That's hard to compete with, right? I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. It's a short series, 7 games, doesn't matter. I get it. And look, if my team were the one doing it, it'd feel great. I get it. But it also, there's that imbalance, right? That I just close it a little bit. So that floor is a bigger deal to me than the cap. But anyway. I love the amount of crossover that we have in right now in chat between board games and various sports, whether it's baseball, college basketball, college football, whatever. I love this. This warms the cockles of my heart. I'm not sure what a cockle is, but it warms it. That's part of my heart. Thank you. Yeah, baseball joy in human form. Perfect description of Ellie. It really is. It's just everything that's right in baseball, man. It hurts me that we're going to lose him in 6 years. I'll enjoy him in the meantime. So, yeah. Dodgers are doing what they should, but they're probably going to lead to rules changes. We'll see. I hear it, but we'll see. They're talking about a work stoppage already. If so, I feel like the owners really ought to stick to a floor and a ceiling, but the floor being the important thing. But anyway. Yes, billionaire owners who don't want to spend to win shouldn't be allowed in Major League Baseball. I agree. The A's are, it hurts me for A's fans. Ken is an A's fan. So, yeah, that sucks, right? Anyway. Any enjoyment of F1, Seth? Didn't watch last season, but I think I'll resub to F1 TV for this season. So, I watched the first 2 seasons. Is it on Netflix or on one of the series, whatever, that had kind of the behind the scenes look at F1? Here are my thoughts on F1. I want to like it. Because I from a distance, I enjoy NASCAR, drive fast, turn left. The problem with F1 is the same problem with baseball. The inequalities between the teams make it non-competitive. That's problem number 1. No, that's problem number 2. Problem number 1 is the absolute bullshit of teams that are like, oh, you need to let your teammate pass you so they can win. What the hell is that? That goes against everything in competition that is beyond gross. That is so gross. I get it. For owners' point or like, no, though. There's no justification for that. And that is my biggest problem with F1. However, the F1 drivers, holy crap, are they impressive athletes. Wow. Yeah, that is, I would love to feel what it's like, even like behind like an F3 car, like just the amount of like force that's used for the brake pedals and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So, and their reaction, hand-eye coordination reaction speeds are almost inhuman. And so I can appreciate them. And what they do very much, they are athletes. But I can't get into the sport because of those 2 reasons. Anyway, so there you go. Oh, hey, we got a preseason game going on. All right. Enjoy, Ruel. Have a good one. I hope it's an entertaining Dodgers season. That's the best I got, Ruel. All right. Yeah, Drive to Survive on Netflix. There you go. Yeah, Seth says, I see what you're saying, and I don't have a strong opinion, but I'd argue that it's specifically a team sport with that being a legit strategy. I hear you, but no, I have strong opinions about that. So, anyway. All right, I have caught up. I think that is all the questions. Well, yeah, that's all the questions. I am done. Now, here's the deal. I don't think we're going to do marbles because I'd have to update it and make sure everything works. So we're not going to do marbles. Okay. Oh, hold on. Shrey says there's an F1 sim arcade / bar downtown. I'm not a video gamer, so I can't evaluate it, but I found it fun. Mm-hmm. Huh? All right. Seth says the other side of it is pretty great when a driver ignores that instruction. Yes. Watching Top Gear hosted by Richard Hammond to try to drive an F1 car really put how hard it is into perspective. Yeah, like I said, like that's next level. That's next level. Like, I appreciate what they do. I just don't appreciate the team aspect of it and the way it's run. Anyway, if you are currently on YouTube, and the overwhelming majority of y'all are on YouTube, I'm gonna end the stream here, and then we're gonna go raid somebody over on Twitch. I haven't done this, and I'm trying to get in this habit. So if you're on YouTube, thank you very much, everybody. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, follow, please. It really does help the channel. Consider supporting the show, patreon.com/HEHQ. If you want to wait for the Patron Drive, that's fine too, but please, come. If you find value in what we do on the channel, it literally helps pay for the upgrades. Here's a hint. There you go. Upgrades and like future upgrades, and keeps the lights on and keeps the content coming. I'm going to be killing myself doing 29 streams, 29 days. For the Patreon Drive, I would appreciate your support. Patreon.com/HCHQ. If you are a patron, you get a stream tomorrow night. It is our learning game of oranges and lemons. We're going to be busting that out tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to that. Public sometime in the future after that. If you're on YouTube, go watch over on Twitch and we can go raid somebody and go support another streamer. So otherwise, if you're on YouTube, I will see y'all later. If you're on Twitch, just hang out for a few minutes or a few seconds. We'll be right back. Take care, y'all. Bye.